welcome back, folks, to the main point for another new episode. I have right here my coach to my left, Kodaq, Wray, and then in the middle we have the young up-and-coming, somewhat good-looking, but who's to say, Kevin K. Swift Walker out of Atlanta, Georgia, member of the All-Star National Karate Team. So we're here to talk about a few topics, and one of those topics is prize money. You know, here's my thoughts about prize money. I think our sport gives money that's somewhat worthy of our interest, but, you know, putting your body on the line, getting kicked, getting punched, getting knocked out, you know, for $100 for a first place prize, you know, is that really worth, you know, our sweat equity? And how can we, you know, do better? And what I mean by do better is, you know, promote, you know, the tournaments that have good prize money, but also upping it a little bit, because I feel like this, I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like our sport is a combat sport, and, you know, you should be heavily rewarded for that, and that can weigh from, you know, I say a certain amount of money to maybe some trinkets, some, you know, some fun, fancy gifts, iPads, you know, because think about other sports, you know, I was watching on national television the Nathan National Hot Dog Contest, and it was crazy that this person who wins gets $10,000.
What?
You know,
That's ridiculous.
How much?
$10,000 for eating hot dogs. I think I might have to, you know, find a different hobby now, because I mean, $10,000. How many of us could use that type of prize money?
Well, I don't know. It's different. Like, it's difficult to discuss the prize money in which each promoter decides to give. Of course, I think they could give more, and that we definitely deserve more. But I understand why they don't, because in our sport, we don't provide as much of a crowd as these Olympic sports or the NBA or MMA or UFC. Now, big sponsors, people like that, they're going to give money for people that are producing big crowds, because they want a whole bunch of people to see their names, see their logos and things of that nature. We're not doing that. We're producing 500, 1,000, you know, people. Now, I feel like if we had more people coming to watch us, then the promoters would get more money, and we could get more sponsors into it, and then we could, you know, ask for more prize money then. But right now, I feel like I don't know what the promoters are making, and at the end of the day, if they're not getting sponsors in with them, they're not going to be giving us any more money.
That is true. To piggyback on what he's saying, like the promoters are definitely in it to make their profit and also to put on a good show. And we thank all the promoters that give out great prize money as it is now. But right now, the fandom, the fanhood in sport karate are the competitors. So until we branch out and gain other fans outside of the sport, we're going to continue to see our numbers be at the same, and we're going to stalemate, and then thus having the same amount of prize money.
So, you know, just throw it out there. You know, there are some tournaments that give some good prize money. I'm not saying that there are no tournaments that, you know, do that. You know, just for example, American, you know, they gave out $5 grand. Obviously, it was a special type of match, super fight. Battle of Atlanta gave out some pretty good prize money for the team matches. But, you know, how much is your body worth, though, you know? And that's my point. You know, we get out here, we train hard, and you hit it on the nose. You know, the promoters are, you know, in it to make a profit maybe, or just to break even. I know in some cases I have friends that are promoters, and they just want to break even, you know. And I can appreciate that, because, you know, they're trying to give out a little money to draw, you know, some competition, some competitors. So now that this leads me to my question of, you know, in order to increase the prize money, does it fall on our backs to promote the tournament to our local, you know, schools, to our, you know, our fan base, quote unquote, you know, not our fan base, but, you know, students who may, you know, look up to you, that you do seminars with, you know, maybe that will help generate more revenue where they can pass it on to the competitors.
Yes. That sounds great as well, but I feel like once we start doing that, they need to start promoting us too.
Well, that's a part of it. Well, that's a part of it. You know, as a competitor, I'm just saying, let's just throw it out there. You know, you show up to a tournament. You know, you enter this tournament. I mean, hey, you should get a certain amount of money for winning. Whether it's first place, should they do first place, second place, third place prize? I don't know. I kind of have my opinion about that as well. I just look at it from a scale from tennis. It's a 101 sport. It's a 101 sport. even though we're not on the level of tennis, but the model that they have, maybe we can follow it and duplicate something like that. Maybe 1,000 for first place, 500 for second place, 250 for third. You know, once we get to that big money threshold.
Yeah, but what you're saying is, like, you know, we're trying to get the big money and we're trying to do this and we're trying to do that. But what about the promoters promoting the people that are going to be attending, the big money people, the big ticket drawers, the people, you know?
It's only a handful of people that really, you know, they want to put out there from what I've witnessed, you know, and that's fair.
They have
you know?
their favorites, and they have people who are, you know, let's say the it guy or the it woman at the time. But there's also people who draw in a lot of people. Like, I know a lot of people who are huge with the kids, and I know a lot of people who draw in a lot of adults. And some people, if you put their name on a seminar, you know you're gonna have at least 100 people. So things of that nature, how can we get them to promote us while we're promoting them, and together we can all promote the
Mutually
sport and
beneficial.
grow the sport.
I agree. There
And
has
look
to be
at
mutual interest.
cross promotion. You know what I'm saying?
There has to be somewhere, you know, we can, you know, see a eye-to-eye point with the competitors and the promoters. Maybe, you know, doing some charity work, coming in early, flying the competitors in, you know, some type of, you know, compensation. Because really, I mean, you know, there are a lot of people who are on teams who get sponsorships. Then there are guys who don't get sponsorships. However, my point is that, you know, if you're getting somebody who you're promoting, quote unquote, to your tournament, you're doing something for them in return. Maybe that'll, you know, help the numbers spike up. Maybe, you know, it'll draw their people to come to the tournament. You know, you're trying to do so many things to increase that purse and that pot, you know, through sponsorships. You know, ASG, of course, they give, you know, what they can. There are other, you know, companies, Top 10, Fighters Inc., who, you know, try to, you know, contribute, you know, to tournament success with the prize money. You know, I just think that if you have, you know, any involvement with the sport as far as product or merchandise, it's helpful to throw something back, a kickback.
Mr. Walker, what do you feel about that?
I feel like we definitely have great sponsors and promoters in the sport. So it's just going to be up to the competitors as well as the fans to effectively communicate with them to get their points across, and then come up with a great idea to please everybody. Because I know in great talks with my instructor, Tony Young, and other greats, I would love to see us get back to the prize money of the past.
Oh, yeah, the prize money of the
The
past?
prize money of the past. Like, people were making real life careers off of this. You know?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, you
And
know.
people were
As well
getting
as bonuses.
sponsored and getting
Bonuses
rent money.
from their sponsor, exactly, just for beating Kodaq.
Showing
you know?
up, you know, hey.
That it's not going to happen too many times.
You know, showing up to the tournament, you know, being able to, you know, being taken care of by your sponsor, you know, that's special right there, to have that type of opportunity. You know, my instructor as well was a part of that, you know, that time and era where, you know, he once said that, hey, $15,000, you know, was like one of the biggest amounts of money that he, like, brought home. I mean, come on, you're in college. Let me ask you, Kevin, you're in college right now. What could you do with $15,000 in college, man? How would going to class be for you then?
Put it like this, I would be a lot more comfortable going to class, and I would have a lot less gray hairs than I do now.
Right, you know, so, you know, I understand being in that time where you're in college, you're trying to do karate, you know, in your case, you're blessed with a sponsorship, so it makes it a little bit more easier to get around, but, you know, that's just a thought. You know, you don't have to maybe work as much. You can concentrate on karate, you can go to school and compete and, you know, get a nice amount of money at the end of the day.
It's
So
true.
our point is, at the end of the day, is we need to all come together as martial artists, because martial arts is known to bring people together, and martial artists stick together, and try to come up with a basis or a plan to help increase the prize money, to get more sponsors out here. We have some great sponsors in the sport, like Mr. Walker is sponsored by Top 10.
Fighters
you
Inc.
know, ASG, Jason Chen sponsors several teams. He does a great job doing that. He sponsors about 5 to 6 teams. And, you know, we need to get some other people coming in, doing some work and trying to help our sport grow so that the fighters can be celebrated as true athletes that we are, and not just people to go 12 months of sacrificing our bodies and getting all worn out just to start competing 1 month later. All right, we're also the only sport where we don't have a big layoff period. All right, we compete
all seasons.
from January
off-season.
to November.
no
There's
off-season.
no
All right,
finish
it's
line.
no off season. So together, we need to come together as a group. Everybody put their heads together and try to figure out something to where we can make this sport get a little bit more monetary for everybody
And
make
respectable,
it, and respectable
to the outside community.
That's
and
food for
respectable
thought.
to the outside
Have open
community.
minds and speak to your local people.
And sponsors, man, cut the check.